Hey guys, it's Tuesday. Here we are on the beautiful Team Sizzle of the week. We have Haley four. Am I saying that right? Four? Four. Yeah. 4E. Oh, there we go. We're rocking it. 4E with us in the cold Nebraska, but not as cold as the cold Minnesota. And she's going to be talking to us tonight about belief. So, believe in your business, believe in yourself. And she's already informed me that we're going to do this intuitive style. So, I'm excited to see what she has in store with us. She is a diamond, has reached the rank of diamond. Are you going on the incentive trip? No. Okay, we're going to be talking about the incentive trip next week, so stay tuned for that as we all freeze and all these wonderful, beautiful people go to Mexico. So, Haley, I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away.
All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining. Yes, a little bit about me. I live in Chambers, Nebraska, population 268. We are approximately 80 miles from a Walmart, just to give you an idea how rural of an area that I live in. I'm 100 miles from an interstate. Um, my kids have anywhere between 7 and 13 kids in their classes. So super small town life. Love it here though. Very blessed. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have my daughter in the background. She's supposed to be being really good, but she informed me that she has 14 in her class. So just so you guys all know that. I'm excited to talk to you guys about belief tonight. I told Kinsey I don't do anything scripted. I try sometimes to do scripted stuff, and I end up throwing my notes away anyway. So I'm very much an ad lib, just start talking kind of person. And honestly, Kinsey messaged me if I would talk about belief with you guys tonight. And belief is actually a really big passion of mine. And so I was super excited for this topic. So, first of all, I want to start off and talk about, belief in our business and how important that it is. And your belief, I absolutely believe that your belief matches your rank. Like, I think doTERRA got this right. So if you guys have seen this belief chart that doTERRA's put together based on rank, so to be an elite, you have to believe in the product. There is no possible way that you're going to hit elite on your own. Sure, if you get somebody under you who starts building, but you on your own is not going to hit elite unless you have an absolute belief in this product and you can't keep your mouth shut about it. That's what happens. That's how you hit elite. You fall in love with this product. You become a product of the product. You tell everybody you know about the product, and they start using the product and ordering, and you're getting them signed up. And once you have that belief in the product and you believe so much that everybody needs it and people are without it, that their life is incomplete. I tell people all the time that, doTERRA's like helps every problem get better. It's not like it will take every problem away because, obviously it's, let's say, for example, 23 below zero. Okay, that's a problem. But we know that we have oils that can warm us up, whether it's emotions, whether it's difficult things you're going through, whether it's we've had influenza at our house, thank goodness for these oils, to get through that. And so when you believe that much in the product that you can't go a day without it, that's the mindset you have to have and the belief to have to be an elite. To be a premier, you have to believe that there's an opportunity that comes along with these products. And you have to believe in that doTERRA as a company is amazing, because you're going to have a really hard time going through the ranks if you're not at that level. If you think that there's no hope for network marketing, that doTERRA is not a company that's in it for the long haul, you're going to have a hard time convincing the amount of people that you need to go with you to go to premier to get them to go along with you. When to reach silver, you have to believe that this is an opportunity for you, that this is an opportunity that you are suited for, and that you have a seed of belief in you that you're going to do this, that this is an opportunity for you. Not just to be a premier, you just have to believe that it works for some people. Yeah, there's an opportunity. I know that people do make money doing doTERRA. And people do make a full-time living doing doTERRA. But to hit the rank of silver, you have to believe that you have what it takes to run a doTERRA business. The rank of gold is when you really have to have that belief to be a solid gold. You have to have the belief in your leaders, those that are coming with you. You have to believe in them, and them have equal belief in themselves, that they can lead a team, that they're on the same mission with you are, and you're going at the same pace. And sometimes when it comes to believing in your leaders, as a leader, you have that ability to believe in others, maybe sometimes before they can believe in themselves. And when they're having difficult days, pouring into them and saying, you know what, I know you can do this. I know you got this. I'm running a silver club on my team that starts next month. And they have to have had a personal enrollment in December or January of 100 PV to be eligible to participate in silver club. And got a message from somebody on here, I'm not going to name names, and she's like, I've got a couple enrollments, but they weren't 100 PV, did that count? And the rules are you have to do 100 PV enrollment. And I said, no, but there's plenty of month left. And she's like, I have a one-on-one with somebody. I said, you got this, like you can do this. So by golly, she went out and she got that enrollment, and she is doing silver club. And so I'm not saying that she wouldn't have got that enrollment if I wouldn't have said, go out and do it, you can do it. But so many times as a leader, you're going to have the opportunity to breathe that life and that belief into your leaders when they're having a tough day, when they're wondering if this business is if they're suited for this business, because that business is hard. We get beat down, rejection. We're all scared of rejection, which is just comes back to limiting beliefs. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But but the rank of gold is really knowing that those that you're partnering with to do this business, that you're doing it for the long haul and they're doing it for the long haul, and you have a mutual belief. To go platinum and diamond, you have to believe in why you're doing this business. Is this because as life changes, as challenges happen, as day-to-day life happens, and sometimes you do make some sacrifices, you have to know that what you're doing is bigger than that you're a part of something bigger. And so once your why is so powerful, it pushes you and keeps you going yourself in the tough days. And then to go, let's see, on my page, to go blue and presidential, you have to believe that you can influence others, that your influence, that you have the power to influence and lead, and they have the influence to make a difference in this world. By the time you get to blue and presidential, it becomes less about like taking care of your own needs and realizing that, oh my gosh, with a blue and presidential diamond income, I can do a whole lot of good things in this world. And so that you got to believe that the belief that you have that influence and that power to actually make a difference in the world is the belief of a blue and presidential diamond. So sometimes, we get stuck, and you get stuck at a rank. And if you're really stuck for a long time at a rank, go back to that and do some real tough conversations with yourself and see where you're at on your belief level. And I bet you'll find some limiting beliefs at whatever level you're stuck at based on that rank. So that is something that I think, I'll admit it, I never understood this until last year. And I started looking at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. And, I've had people on my team get stuck at Premier. And the reason, when I start talking to them, they honestly don't think, the exact words of one of my premiers was, I know this business works for you, Haley, but I'm not sure it'll work for me. That is the mindset of a premier struggling to go to silver. And so when we look at our beliefs and we start looking at limiting beliefs, like that is something, that's what stops you from going through the ranks, is going to be your limiting beliefs. And as you think about limiting beliefs, one of those, like to help you identify, you can't really you can't really clear a limiting belief until you know what the belief is, what the limiting belief is. And so the biggest way to determine what your limiting belief is to finish this statement that I'm going to say. I'm not the rank I want to be with doTERRA, fill in whatever, because blank. Whatever your excuse is whatever your limiting belief is. Because there is an excuse in the world that you can't be the rank you want to be with doTERRA. Maybe there hasn't been enough time, like, you're brand new in the business and you just haven't had enough, it's probably would be a little bit hard to join the business 1 month and be Presidential Diamond the next month. It's a little bit of an unrealistic situation. But I met somebody at leadership who went diamond in a month. I mean, this business, there's no excuse. I mean, excuses are, they are just a limiting belief. And when you realize that is when, then you can start doing the work to get past those limiting beliefs. And so when you're struggling with a limiting belief, again, identify what it is, and then do some reflective work to figure out, why is it that I have this, where's the story coming from? Because limiting beliefs actually are stories that we tell ourselves. There's no truth to them. It's a storyline that we have convinced ourselves. Because I promise you, whatever your reason is, whatever your excuse is, somebody's went before you with that exact same reason or, situation, and they've went on through the ranks. So whatever is stopping you from going on does come down to your beliefs. Beliefs and the work. You can believe all you want to believe, but if you aren't out there talking to people, teaching classes, doing those kind of activities, I mean, I hope nobody's misunderstanding that you can just believe yourself there all the way. You do have to do the work that comes with it, but the work is so easy when the belief is there. So we hit these blocks, these limiting beliefs, and we freeze. And then we get down, and it's just, sometimes it's hard to get yourself out of those slumps. I don't know if anybody else ever had a slump through their business where they've had a hard time going through it. But biggest advice I have for you when you are struggling with limiting beliefs is to dig into the personal development. I remember we had some trainings here in Nebraska like 3 years ago, and Burke Rigby actually came out for those trainings, and he said, I'll never forget this quote that he said, and he said it many times since then. He says, work harder on yourself than you do your business. And there is just so much truth to personal development, and the personal development that we have, that we go through. Whitney, Faith. This is why I don't do nighttime Zoom chats. The work that we do to get ourselves out of that, positive, your brain cannot have a positive and negative thought at the same time. Do you realize that? And when you're having negative thought patterns, that is going to get you into a negative belief pattern. And I actually went through a program this summer, and I had a coach, and we talked a lot about limiting beliefs, and he talked to me about the power of thoughts. Do you know that naturally 50% of the thoughts that we think are negative, 30% are positive, and 20 are neutral? Well, how are we supposed to move forward if over half of the thoughts that we are thinking are a negative thought? And so really learning to control your mind and control your thoughts and retell the story. One thing that my coach told me was it's all about mindful living and living in the moment, because the past is over. There is nothing you can do to change the past. You can change the storyline to an extent, but the facts of the past are always going to be the facts of the past. So stop living there. Don't go there to the past because it's over. The future really doesn't exist. And that was a mind-blowing thing for me to think about because I'm kind of a planner. I came from an insurance background, and my before doTERRA, my job was centered around people planning for their future and helping people prepare for the unexpected. But the truth of the matter is, tomorrow isn't ever promised. We don't know if the sun's coming up tomorrow. So all we really have to work with is what is in front of us today. And that's mindful living. And the more mindful you live your life, the more you are able to get rid of some of those negative thought patterns that we have, and that negative, belief. So one limiting belief that I hear a lot in my team is, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want people to think I'm just trying to sell them something. And where does that story come from? Because we all know, I'm pretty sure everybody on this group, I know people in my own group, we don't do it because we're trying to sell somebody something except a better way of life. I put a question out in my team page, and I asked, if doTERRA suddenly stopped paying you, would you still build a doTERRA business? Would you still share doTERRA with others? And I didn't find one person that said no to that, because we naturally love these products. When you share from a place of love, a true place of love, and that you want something better for them, you are going to, it's not yucky. There's nothing yucky about that. It's, thank goodness somebody was brave enough to share doTERRA with you, with me, with all of us. Because can you imagine life without it? And I asked some of my team members that thought that they don't want to be salesy, they don't want to be pushy. And there are people that I personally enrolled. And I said, did you feel that way when I shared doTERRA with you? Did you feel like I was just trying to make a buck on you? No. And I said, then where's that story coming from? Because that's totally coming from within. And that's a limiting belief that we face in this business. No matter what level you're at, when you're bringing people into this business with you, you're going to come across that limiting belief, because there's such a negative, sales has such a negative tone, but it shouldn't, because really when you're in sales, you're solving people's problems. I was in life insurance sales before, and I am such a believer in life insurance, because at the time of a death, does money ever bring anybody back? No. But what's the one thing you need at the time of a death? Money. You have to pay for a funeral. If it's somebody that is a breadwinner of the home and they're helping pay the bills, all of a sudden their income isn't coming in anymore. Money is something that people need at the time of a death. I'm very passionate about that. I never felt salesy selling life insurance because I believed in it. And that's where it comes back to here. When you believe in the product, it's not going to feel yucky to sell it, to get somebody on board with this lifestyle. I've never found anybody that I brought on board with doTERRA, if I did my job right and taught them how to use their oils, that has ever regretted joining doTERRA and joining this lifestyle. So, sorry, I know this is that I'm kind of getting off topic on belief, but it really all comes back to, what story are we telling ourselves? Here's a quote: don't believe everything you think, because what you think is usually surrounded by outside stuff that is influenced by stuff that maybe isn't really true. And I mean that because it's a story we tell ourselves, or a story somebody told us. And train your mind to see the good in every situation. And when you can do some of that really tough mind work, it makes it, when somebody tells you, no, I'm not interested in doTERRA, so much less scary, or so much less painful, when you've done the mind work of realizing that that person's just not ready for it yet. My favorite quotes is, faith it until you make it. Having faith in the process of this, because building a doTERRA business is a process. It's very simple activities. I mean, like what we do in doTERRA, sometimes I talk to business owners and they tell me about the problems that they have in their life and the challenges and big decisions that they have to make their operation work. And I'm like, oh man, I'm just glad I get to teach people how to use essential oils because it's just so much, what we do is simple. We share oils, we sample them, we teach them how to use them, how they can't live without them, or why they need them. We enroll them, we support them, we teach them how to use their oils, we give them more and more solutions to more and more problems till they realize that doTERRA is a life that they can't live without, and we do it all over again. Like there's no rocket science, there's no magic formula to building this business except going out and doing the work. And I think what stops us is when our beliefs get in the way. Our belief isn't strong enough to get us through some of those tough conversations that we need to have. So having faith in the process. Sometimes you have a feeling within you and you just need to act on it. And that feeling doesn't come. I believe that the divine puts some of that puts that in our heart and then gives us the opportunity. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. Got my helper. She has been under the weather this week, so we've had a rough week. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little story about belief, intuition, just having faith and seeing just watching, like not understanding. One thing that people get caught up on a lot is the how to get to the next rank. How am I ever going to be a diamond? How am I ever going to be a gold? How, you get hung up on the how. When you get clear on what you want, like get super, super clear on what you want in your doTERRA business and do the actions required, do the classes, share doTERRA, I call it rinse, wash, repeat, do the same thing over and over again, and you are going to get there as long as you stay the course. And so when I started my doTERRA business, I had no interest in doing a doTERRA business. I wasn't looking for an opportunity. I absolutely fell in love with the product and I couldn't keep my mouth shut about it. And I started sharing it and I grew through the ranks very quickly. I did my very first class in March and I was silver in June. And my upline, a lot of you know her, Jennifer Cancino. She's amazing. She called me up and she's like, Haley, you have to go to convention. And I'm like, no, I was working a 9-to-5 job at that time. I had very limited vacation time. And if I was going to take a vacation time away from work, it was going to be with my kids. I wasn't going to take a trip to Utah. Are you kidding me? Like, she was super persistent with me. And one day she said, I said she must have caught me on a weak moment because I says, okay, Jen, fine. If you can find a convention ticket for me and my mom, because I'm not going, my mom's going to come with me if I'm doing this. And if you can find a convention ticket for both of us, it was totally sold out. It was before they had expanded to the Salt Palace. So tickets that year were hard to come by. I said, if you can find it, then I'll go. I really didn't think she was going to find the ticket. I think it was probably 24 hours and she's calling me, found 2 tickets, Haley. It's like, okay, guess we're going. So my mom's always up for a road trip. So we drove through the night that night. I worked all day and mom came and we drove and we got to Utah like at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was a crazy trip. I really had no idea why I was there. It was in me to I know that it was a seed that was planted in me that I needed to go there and I acted on it. I in faith. I didn't know why, but I went. And probably because Jennifer's a cool chick and anytime you get to hang out with Jennifer, it's going to be a good time. I don't know. But anyways, so I'm like a total I feel like a fish out of the water. Like this was not my element. I didn't know. I knew so little about doTERRA. I was just so new in it. But she told me because I hit silver, she was really persistent because she's like, you get to walk the stage, Haley. You get to walk the stage. You have to go. That was her selling thing to me. So, okay, so we go to convention. I was like the gala. I'm just like, what's this gala thing? You know, dressing up in a prom dress, like, you know, just something I never saw myself doing. So Mom and Jennifer and I walk into the gala, and I really don't really know why this happened, but I had just met Burke and Natalie Rigby for the first time in standing in line. Had been watching some of their videos and stuff. But Burke walked up to us and us three, and he's like, we got 3 extra seats at our Blue Diamond table. Do you guys want to sit with us? And we're like, sure. So we sat there, these brand new, I mean, Jen was experienced and totally didn't look like she was out of place. But I think my mom and I were like, we're with like these top ranked people in doTERRA, because everybody else at their table was like diamonds and blue diamonds. And I sat there and I watched the diamonds start walking. And I was super clear with my intention. I mean, this moment came over me. I can remember it to this day. I'm like, I'm going to be a doTERRA diamond. This is what I want to do. Like, until that moment, I didn't know that I wanted a doTERRA business. I didn't even know what that looked like. And I don't know, at that time, I didn't know how I was going to be a diamond. I mean, I was a duct tape silver, you know, I mean, I'd hit silver, but I wasn't a solid silver. And I knew that I needed to do the work. And we attended some training out there that Boyd had put on. And he said, well, what I thought he said in the training was that doTERRA was going to double by the end of the year. And if you didn't double, you were going to be behind in the growth of doTERRA. And so we left there, and I told Mom, I had 70 people on my team when I was at convention that first year. And I told Mom, I'm like, I need 140 people on my team by the end of December. And my mom, she's really sweet. She's like, maybe we should just be grateful for those we have, Haley, because Mom's building the business with me. And I'm like, no, Boyd says we need to double our volume or our team. Well, we need to double it. And so I went home and I went to work, and it was 2 classes a week from convention through December. And by the end of December, by November, I was able to leave my full-time job and do doTERRA full-time. By December, I had 200 people on my team, not 140, but doing the work, being clear on what I was going to do. And I look back at, I don't know how I got those classes booked, but I got clear with my intention, and my belief in what I was doing grew, and there wasn't anything that was going to stop me. And so I left my full-time job on a trial basis. My employer was amazing. She said, I think this is a passion of yours, Haley, this doTERRA thing. How about you try it for a year? And if you don't make it, you can have your job back, which was huge, because where I live, I had a really good job. To be able to leave that job and know that I had it to fall back on was something that was really probably key playing in me leaving my job. But I left my job then that January, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this. If I'm doing this, if I'm not, I mean, I'm doing it. And I did Diamond Club that spring, and I did 20 classes in January, 20 in February, 15 in March, 10 in April, 5 in May. And I hit platinum in March. So 1 year from me starting my business, I was a platinum. And when I look back, it has to do with the belief that I had, that I knew I was going to be a diamond. And I didn't know how, because I had no experience in network marketing. And so I like this when we talk about belief. Information plus faith equals your belief. Okay, we have the information, the knowledge. We believe in the products. We believe in doTERRA. We know doTERRA is amazing. When we have the faith to just put the actions into work and know that every day that you get up and do this business, that you share doTERRA with somebody, that you're making their life better, that you have, that what you're doing is going to pay off in the long run, that's where your belief comes in being able to do this business. So sometimes when you're stuck, I want to talk about that really quick. because we do get stuck at different ranks. And the fastest way to get unstuck is go to a place of gratitude and grateful for the team that you have, grateful for the people that are on this journey with you. Because when you're grateful and you're showing gratitude, my coach that I had this spring or the summer, he told me there's 2 universal currencies of the universe that we live, love and gratitude. That when you invest in those 2 things, it comes back tenfold over again. Show more love to your existing team. Show more gratitude, because it's easy sometimes to get into these positions and be like, well, gosh, if she just would host a class for me, I would be the rank I wanted. Because this one person, that person's not ready to move with you yet, and that's okay. Love them where they're at. Just love on them. Be there for them, be supportive, believe in them in an encouraging way. And when you show love and gratitude to your team, and then diving into the personal beliefs, the mindset, the belief, the stuff that you need to get yourself out of where you're at. So fill your mind full of positive thoughts. Every day, listen to something good. I don't listen to the news. I don't want to watch the news. I will watch it if I need to see what the weather's going to be. And my family will be like, oh, you're watching the news, Haley, just because I want to see what the weather and how much snow they're predicting. So, but I quit watching the news. If I see a sad story on Facebook, I don't click on it and read it, you guys, because I don't want that negativity in my life, because those negative thoughts consume you. We're empathetic creatures. So when we watch something super sad on TV, we take on those emotions and we feel those things. And so be so selective of what you protect yourself, and just allow the positive stuff to come in and block some of that negative messages coming into you. And that to me is super huge. And I totally lost my train of thought on that. Get back to my notes. Talked about limiting beliefs. Okay, I think I talked about a lot of the stuff that I wanted to. I don't know where I was going with the negative on the news, but listen to something positive every single day. Like, get in a good podcast, get in a habit that no matter what rank you go to in doTERRA, you're always going to be needing to constantly build your personal development. I went to Sarah Jansen. She's Presidential Diamond. I went to one of her trainings when she was here in Lincoln, and she talked about how every day she listens to positive podcasts. And I think to myself, you look at a Presidential Diamond, you're like, you must just wake up positive. Like, you got an amazing life. Like, but to hear somebody like her say she has to listen to that stuff all the time too, that's what gets you off on your day off on a good start, when you're putting that good stuff into your brain every day. One person I love to listen to is Ange Peters. So you guys listen to Ange. She's adorable. She runs she's on Facebook. She's Whole Fit, Whole HOL-FIT. But her last call this last week's call was, she was making predictions for 2019. It was kind of fun. And she's like, these are just my predictions. I don't know if they're really going to come true, but, she talked a lot about, where she sees health going and where she sees people going, and, different movements. And this is super powerful. And I want to, leave you with this thought, as far as going back to, because I really think where we get stuck in this business is we get scared to share doTERRA. We are afraid to go out of our comfort zone and keep telling everybody that we know about these amazing products that change our life. I'm guessing if you're taking the time on a Tuesday night to sit in here on a Zoom chat, I'm guessing you have a pretty good belief in these products, that you want to take the time to learn how to do this, that you're investing this much time in it. And so her quote was, this is going to be the year of, she said all these different things. This is going to be the year of, what are things she said, like more, I can't remember, but I'm going to tell you this one. I was going to try to quote one that I didn't write down, and that wasn't working. Okay, she's going to say, this is the year that if you're not solving a need in your own unique way, you're going to go back to work for somebody who is. You know, we have the opportunity with doTERRA to solve people's needs, people's problems. You know, right now, influenza is running rampant. My little girl, yeah, she's been down with influenza, but guess what? Her fever was 24 hours from the time it started to the time it got over. I don't know anybody else with influenza that isn't using oil, or, you know, anybody that doesn't use oils that gets through, now she's coughing, that gets through influenza that fast. We have something people need. You know, every single day I have a message in my inbox. A lot of times it's from my team members, but needing something. I had somebody wanting for psoriasis, for broken capillaries. Like, we have the solution that so many people need. And being willing to put yourself out there, to share it with people, having the belief in the products and the belief in yourself to share that knowledge. You know, when somebody asks me, is anybody ever afraid to share because they think they don't know the answer? Like, I'm afraid to teach classes because I might not know the answer of what they're going to ask me. I don't know. Is that anything anybody else fears or gets hung up on? We have so many good books. And when somebody asks me for my advice on how to treat something, I take a picture right out of one of either the Essential Life book. Okay, I'm almost done, okay? Go find your name. I just take a picture of it in the, I love Boyd Truman's Essential Oils Expanded book. You know, so the person wants psoriasis. I'm not a doctor. I take a picture of that. And I'm like, this is, you know, this is a protocol here, you know, like, you don't have to know everything. And, you know, you can make yourself, but without knowing every answer to every person's problem, you can still set yourself out there that you're a solutions provider. You know how to fix people's problems. You know how to help them. You know how to get the tools into their hands. And when you have that belief in yourself and the belief in these products, and you're willing to do the work with the time sacrificing, because there is an element of sacrifice when you're building this business, but it's worth it. Because the freedom that you get from it, to be able to pick and choose your work hours, to work from home, to have the financial stability that doTERRA can offer you, it's worth the short-term sacrifice for a long time end goal. You know, another thing that Sarah Jansen said that I thought was genius, I never heard it this way. With doTERRA, we're not a get-rich company, because most of us know you work really, really long time to get to be making a decent paycheck with doTERRA. You know, you put in a lot of hours sometimes to build that. And but what Sarah Jansen says, we're not a get rich quick company, we're a get rich for life company. Because when you do the work and you build a solid foundation and you're sharing doTERRA and you're bringing people in with you and you're bringing a tribe of people with you, it's a whole movement that we're on. And doTERRA, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This opportunity to get in with a company like we are at 10 years old, a company, it's unheard of to have the opportunity, because of the place that in the world right now where people are looking to get healthier. People are sick of being sick. And we have this amazing opportunity. And when I tell, when they talk about doTERRA being compared to Apple computers, who would have given it, like, who would have wanted to, I mean, who of you would have invested in Apple when they were a 10-year-old company if you knew what they were going to do? I mean, I think most of us would think that was a solid investment to make. I mean, knowing where Apple went. Okay, you have the opportunity to invest with a company that's growing at the speed of Apple, and we don't even need to invest money. We invest time. It's not about investing dollars into this business. It's about an investment of your time. And when you put the more time and energy that you put into your business, just like investments, the more time and more money you put into it, the faster it's going to grow. Same thing with this business. It's just that we're swapping out currency for time. So that's what I have for you on beliefs.
Haley, that was so good. When Romy and I were talking about who to do this call, you came to mind, and we weren't sure why. Like, obviously we know you have a powerful belief system, but now I really know why. Like, this was so powerful. And I love that you even, you would have been easy for you to not do this call. My kids are sick or I got a lot going on. I mean, you showed up and actually showed us what this looks like, and it's just the choice. And that's what it comes down to. And just choosing to believe and rock it. And you do. I love it. Does anyone have any questions before we let her go? Type them in quicker. Unmute. Yeah, we got good stuff coming in. This is what I needed tonight. Mindset. I love what you said about the reference guides. Let that be your expert. You just share what you know.
Yes. And, you don't need, I know sometimes people get hung up on needing an upline to come teach the class because they don't think they know enough. And honestly, the people you're bringing into doTERRA want to hear from you. They want your story. You can bring your upline in, but she doesn't have any validity with those people. We are a relationship-based business. And when we foster relationships, when we love on them, people, it's so genuine when it's coming from you. And it's okay to bring your upline in. I'm not telling you never to bring your upline in. Just don't use that as your reason to not do a class, because they really want to hear from you. Your friends and family want to hear what these oils have done for you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, this was fantastic. This is going to be listened to time and time again. Thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. And if you guys have any questions, is it okay if they ask in the Rockstars group?
Absolutely. Yep. Oh. Make sure you tag me in it so I see it. It's one of my favorite books. I'm a huge believer in the attraction factor, the law of attraction. And, really, I highly recommend this. I've read this book so many times. Well, I've listened to it so many times, and I've read it a little bit. I don't do a very good job at sitting and reading, but I do a lot of audiobooks. I will tell you, when you have that feeling in your gut, act on it. If a name pops into your head, call that person. It might not even be that you need to share doTERRA with them, but we get nudges all the time. I call it from God. Some people call it the universe, whatever you want to call it. When you get that nudge, when you act on it, big things happen. My nudge to go to convention, I would not have this business had Jennifer not nudged me. That's a gentle word for saying what she did to me to get me to the convention. We have to follow those nudges. I was really excited when I hit Diamond because I wanted to go to the Truman Diamond retreat. Gina hosts a retreat, and once you're Diamond, you get invited to go. And I'd been wanting that for a while because I hung out at platinum, bounced back to gold, silver, back to platinum. My journey to Diamond, if you want to hear my journey to Diamond, I did a call on that in the Truman page yesterday, if you want more details on my actual journey to Diamond. When I finally hit, I was so excited to go to her retreat. I was scared to death to go to her retreat because nobody in my upline was going to be there. Mark and Romy weren't going to be there. Burke and Natalie weren't going to be there. I didn't really know Boyd enough to be chummy. I'm actually pretty introverted, and it kind of surprises some people because public speaking doesn't bother me, but crowds, I get really, really shy, and a bunch of people that I don't know. I'm way more comfortable doing a Zoom chat where I can't this is easier for me than if we were all in a room together. But anyways, I'm so scared to go to this Diamond. But I knew I wanted to go. I'm I'm not going to this Diamond retreat. And I fly by myself a lot, so that's not a big deal. But I did fly out to Utah by myself. And Allison Tripp was also, I had never met Allison, but Burke and Natalie, when I saw them at Leadership and they told me they weren't going to the Diamond retreat, they said, oh, you should hook up with Allison. She's really sweet, and she's going to be there by herself too. So Allison and I met at the airport, jumped to this vehicle. Again, there's so many things about this trip that didn't make sense, so out of my comfort zone. And just going to a retreat where I didn't know anybody, it's totally out of my comfort zone. Joe Vitale was the guest speaker. Wow. I didn't even know Joe Vitale was at that time. Like, I'd seen the movie The Secret, but honest to God, like, we were in a room with Joe Vitale. There was like 100 of us in Joe Vitale. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just like, this is what I needed in my life. And this was, I actually got this book autographed by Joe Vitale.
Cool.
My, so much of the direction that I was going. So, I mean, sorry, I went on a tangent there a little bit, but when you get those nudges, there's so much blessings waiting on the other side, even if they're scary, even if you're scared to death. Show up and do it anyways. I mean, courage, a friend of mine sent me a quote and he said, courage is being scared to death and standing up and doing it anyways. And, you know, we're supposed to be scared in this business. If I told you I was never scared or out of my comfort zone as I went and taught a class or I went to a new rank or did something new, that wouldn't even be true. But going ahead and acting when you're scared anyways, picking up the phone call, you know, calling people on doTERRA, that can be scary. I know it can, because the rejection is a little bit more raw and real than when you just send them a text message and they just choose not to respond. But when you do those scary things, your belief will grow, your self will grow, and those blessings that are waiting for you that will absolutely change your life.
I wish it was 8 a.m. and not 8 p.m. because I am so pumped up right now. I am not going to be able to go to sleep. This is great. Thank you so much. Tell me the name of that book one more time. I don't have it yet.
The Attractor Factor.
The Attractor Factor. I'm going to get that.
And it's on Audible.
Okay.
And, so, yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I was honored. I'm always honored when I get to talk on the Rockstars. I don't join the Night Sizzles, as you can maybe see why now I don't join the Night Sizzles. It's a little tough, like I said, with
crazy time.
That bedtime routine. So
sure. I'm going to stop the recording.